Success is not found in a conference. It's not found in a weekend seminar, a YouTube video, or even a moment of inspiration. Success is found in what you do every single day. Your daily routine is either moving you closer to your destiny or anchoring you to mediocrity. The truth is, your routine is a silent architect. It's designing your future, whether you're paying attention or not. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more information. You need a system of discipline that forces your body to follow the convictions of your spirit. Everybody wants success, but very few are willing to submit to the daily disciplines required to manifest it. Dreams don't work unless you do. And they don't just need effort, they need strategic, consistent, aligned effort. We live in a culture that glamorizes big moments. Everyone wants the spotlight. Everybody wants the viral moment. But the spotlight only reveals the results of what's been built in the shadows. It's what you do when no one's watching that determines what they'll see when everybody's looking. You want massive success? Then start celebrating small wins, because small wins stacked daily compound into transformation. You don't need a breakthrough. You need a routine that makes a breakthrough inevitable. And look at your calendar. Look at your habits. They will prophesy your future more accurately than your words ever could. You say you want success. You say you want wealth. You say you want impact. But your schedule is filled with distractions, procrastination, and comfort. Your actions must align with your assignment, because what you do daily is your declaration of what you really believe is important. If you want wealth, don't chase money, chase value. Make value creation a habit. Wealth is not an event. It's a reward system built around daily service to others. When you solve problems consistently, money will come consistently. Make it a part of your routine to read, to plan, to create, to sell, to serve. That's how abundance is built, not by accident, not by chance, but by choice, repeated daily. And don't forget the most important part, divine alignment. You can have all the habits in the world, but if your routine doesn't include time for reflection, prayer, gratitude, and spiritual alignment, you're building on sand. When your daily actions are guided by your God-given purpose, you activate divine favor, and favor will take you further than effort ever could. That's the power of a purpose-driven routine. It unlocks heaven's acceleration. So here's the truth. Success is not a secret. It's not hidden. It's not exclusive. It's not reserved for the elite. It is accessible to the one who dares to build a routine that honors their purpose, disciplines their flesh, multiplies their value, and aligns with their faith. Every single day. You don't need to wait until next year. You don't need permission. You need a plan, a pattern, and the relentless execution of that pattern until your life reflects the vision God placed in your heart. Because success, real, lasting, legacy-level success, is found in your daily routine. Your routine is the blueprint of your future. It is the invisible structure shaping every visible result in your life. You don't rise to the level of your potential, you fall to the level of your patterns. People keep chasing new goals, new strategies, and new opportunities, hoping that change will come from the outside. But lasting change never comes from the outside in. It starts with what you repeatedly do when no one's looking. Your future isn't waiting for you in some distant place. It's being created right now by the decisions you make every morning, every afternoon, and every night. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They submitted themselves to a daily structure that forced greatness out of them. You can't talk your way into a successful life. You have to live your way into it. That means your routine must be intentional. You can't afford to live on autopilot. If you wake up every day reacting to life instead of directing it, you've already given your power away. And here's the truth. If you don't design your day, somebody else will design it for you, and it won't be in your favor. Think of your routine like the blueprint of a skyscraper. No one sees the blueprint when they look at the final building. But that blueprint governed every nail, every beam, every floor. If the blueprint is flawed, the building fails. If the routine is weak, the results will be fragile. You cannot expect stability in your life when chaos is your daily practice. Excellence is never accidental. It is engineered by daily execution. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in one day. You just have to decide who you want to become and then reverse engineer that identity into daily behaviors. If you see yourself as a leader, what does a leader do every day? If you see yourself as wealthy, what do wealthy people prioritize in their schedule? Don't just admire the fruit, imitate the root. Study the routines of those who have what you desire, then build your own system with ruthless consistency. Because the future you want is not waiting on luck. It's waiting on structure, it's waiting on discipline, and it's waiting on the moment you stop winging your life and start building it with intention, integrity, and intensity. Your future's not in your goals, it's hidden in your routine. Protect it, design it, master it. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and manifestation. Everyone has dreams, everyone has desires, but very few have the discipline to turn those dreams into reality. A dream without discipline is just a wish, a fantasy floating in your mind, disconnected from your actions. Discipline is what brings that dream down from the clouds and roots it into your daily life. It's the system that turns intention into results, faith into works, and vision into victory. You don't get what you want, you get what you're willing to sacrifice for. And discipline is the language of sacrifice. It says, I'll do what's necessary even when it's not convenient. Discipline shows up when motivation doesn't. It gets up when you're tired. It focuses when you're distracted. It keeps building when no one is clapping. That's the power of discipline. It doesn't negotiate with your feelings. It enforces your future. We live in a generation that's addicted to comfort, but success doesn't grow in comfort zones. It grows in the soil of sacrifice and routine. People think the dream is hard to reach, but the dream is not hard. It's the discipline that's difficult. And that's why most people never taste the fruit of their vision. They can't endure the process. They keep praying for results, but avoiding the routine that produces them. Discipline is proof of belief. If you really believe in your calling, you will show it through your consistency. If you really believe that the vision you have is from God, then your daily discipline becomes an act of worship, a declaration that says, I'm preparing for what I've prayed for. Every disciplined action you take moves you one step closer to manifestation. And every time you quit, you delay what was already prepared for you. Discipline builds credibility with yourself. When you keep promises to yourself daily, you increase your personal integrity. You begin to trust yourself at a higher level. And when you trust yourself, you stop second guessing your journey. That internal confidence becomes fuel. It gives you the strength to push past resistance, to face the hard days, and to keep showing up even when nothing seems to be happening. Because you know discipline always pays off. Always. You can have talent, vision, and passion, but without discipline, you will self-sabotage. Discipline is the builder. It's the bridge. It's the bridge. It's the unglamorous, often unseen grind that turns your potential into power. So stop asking when your dream will come true and start asking how disciplined you're willing to become to make it real. Small wins compound into massive breakthroughs. Success is not a single explosive event. It's a series of quiet victories stacked one on top of the other. It's the little choices, the invisible habits, the daily disciplines that no one sees but God. Too many people are waiting on a big moment to change their life, but breakthrough doesn't show up because you're lucky. It shows up because you were faithful. It shows up because you kept moving when quitting would have been easier. Every time you wake up early and follow through, that's a win. Every time you choose to study instead of scroll, that's a win. Every time you sell, serve, pray, write, build, create, lead, no matter how small it seems, that's a win. And when those wins pile up over days, weeks, and months, they create momentum. And momentum is the secret weapon of success. Momentum makes hard things easier. Momentum opens doors, attracts opportunities, and magnifies your effort. But momentum only belongs to the consistent. The danger is that most people don't respect the small. They despise humble beginnings. They ignore the daily disciplines because they don't feel dramatic enough. But if you can't manage the small, you'll never master the large. If you can't be excellent when no one is watching, you won't be ready when everyone is. Small wins train your mind, condition your body, and sharpen your spirit. They prepare you for the weight of the breakthrough you're asking for. Breakthrough is not magic, it's math. It's the math of compounding effort. 1% better every day doesn't feel like much in the moment. But over time, it creates an unstoppable shift. What starts as small decisions snowballs into radical transformation. And here's the powerful part. When you stay faithful to the small wins, you're not just changing your results, you're changing your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and fails, and you start seeing yourself as someone who follows through and finishes. This is why it's dangerous to quit too soon. The breakthrough might be in the next repetition, the next phone call, the next meeting, the next post, the next prayer. But most people miss it because they stop sowing just before the harvest shows up. They discount the value of a small step because they don't realize they're standing in the middle of a compounding season. Respect the small. Honor the process. Stack the wins. Because when you do, you're not just building progress, you're building a life that can carry the breakthrough you were born for. Your routine reveals your real priorities. It doesn't matter what you say you care about, your habits will always tell the truth. You can talk about success, you can talk about wealth, you can talk about purpose. But your calendar and your daily actions are the most honest reflection of what matters to you. What you repeatedly do is what you truly value. You don't prioritize what's important, you prioritize what's urgent, what's comfortable, or what's familiar, unless you make a conscious decision to do otherwise. This is why so many people live frustrated. They have big goals, strong intentions, even powerful prayers, but their daily life tells a different story. They say they want to build a business, but the routine is filled with Netflix and distractions. They say they want financial freedom, but they spend more than they invest. They say they want to grow spiritually, but they don't set aside time for prayer or the word. If your routine doesn't align with your values, you're living in conflict, and that internal conflict will sabotage your momentum. Real alignment starts with brutal honesty. Look at your day. Look at how you spend your time. Where your time goes, your energy flows and your future grows. You might think you're too busy to pursue your calling, but in reality, you've just built a life around low priority activities that are robbing you of the high impact results you say you want. Change doesn't happen when your intentions shift, it happens when your priorities shift. And that shift is reflected in how you live, not just how you think. You have 24 hours just like the wealthy do, just like the disciplined do, just like the fulfilled do. The difference isn't in time, it's in how that time is structured. Successful people don't have more time, they have clearer priorities. They've learned to structure their day around what produces results, not just what feels good. They protect their mornings, they schedule their growth, they guard their energy. And they do it daily because they understand that consistency is more powerful than intensity. Your routine is a mirror. If you don't like what you see in your life, it's not a reflection problem, it's a priority problem. And once you identify that, you can fix it. You can't manage what you won't measure, and you can't change what you won't confront. So confront your routine. Ask yourself, if someone followed me around with a camera for 30 days and studied my habits, Would they be able to guess my goals? Would they say I'm committed to success or addicted to distraction? Because at the end of the day, your routine doesn't lie. It is the scoreboard of your priorities. And the good news is you can change it. You can restructure your life around what truly matters. You can align your schedule with your purpose. And when you do, you won't just feel more productive. You'll start living more powerfully, more intentionally, and more fulfilled. Wealth is a byproduct of daily value creation. Money doesn't chase people. It chases value. If you're not creating value consistently, you're not building wealth, you're just hoping for it. Wealth is not magic, and it's not mysterious. It's the natural result of serving others at a high level, solving real problems, and doing it over and over again with excellence. The marketplace pays for one thing: solutions. And the people who become wealthy are the ones who make value creation a daily discipline, not an occasional event. You don't have to be a genius. You don't need a trust fund, but you do need a strategy, and that strategy must include waking up every day with the intention to create, contribute, and solve. When you build your routine around value, learning more, serving better, creating faster, communicating clearer, you position yourself for income. And the greater the value you create, the greater the income that flows to you. It's not personal, it's principle. The problem is most people are waiting to get paid before they produce. But value comes first. Results come first. Contribution comes first. You don't wait for the reward to show up. You build the system that makes the reward inevitable. This is why broke people stay broke. They focus on getting before they've given anything of substance. Wealthy people understand that if you sow value daily, you'll eventually reap abundance consistently. And here's the key: it has to be daily. You can't produce value once a week and expect to compete in a world that's moving every hour. You must become a producer, not just a consumer. What are you building? What are you offering? What problem are you solving? What content, product, service, or skill are you refining day in and day out? Wealth rewards repetition of value at scale. So if you want your bank account to grow, start by growing the amount of value you deliver to the world on a consistent basis. Don't let the noise fool you. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to be famous. You need to be valuable. And if you make yourself valuable deeply, consistently, and relentlessly, money will find you. Opportunities will find you. Partnerships, clients, contracts, platforms, they will all be drawn to the gravitational pull of your value. Your income will always reflect the value you've delivered over time. So if you want to change your financial situation, don't start with money. Start with your daily habits. Ask yourself, what did I build today? Who did I help today? What problem did I solve today? If you answer those questions with intention, wealth becomes a matter of when, not if. Faith-fueled action unlocks favor and acceleration. It's not enough to just believe. Faith without action is dead, and action without faith is empty. But when you combine the two, something supernatural happens. You move from self-effort to divine empowerment. You stop operating in your own limited strength and start stepping into a flow where doors open, opportunities multiply, and things happen faster than they should because favor picked up what faith initiated. Faith is the ignition, but action is the steering wheel. You can pray all you want, but if you're not moving your feet, you're not walking in faith, you're just wishing. Faith moves, faith builds, faith applies for the loan, faith makes the phone call, faith launches the business, faith writes the book. When you move in obedience, even when you don't see the full picture, you activate a spiritual principle that puts divine wind behind your sails. Favor doesn't find the passive. Favor locates the obedient. God is not obligated to bless potential. He blesses movement. And when your movement is aligned with your calling, acceleration is the natural result. What takes others 10 years can take you 1, not because you're better, but because you're aligned. Because you obeyed when it didn't make sense. Because you trusted the assignment more than your understanding. But here's what most people miss. Faith-fueled action doesn't always feel big. Sometimes it looks like showing up consistently. Sometimes it's making the hard phone call. Sometimes it's investing when others are retreating. It might not feel spiritual in the moment, but heaven is watching how you handle the little things. And when you're faithful with the little, you unlock access to the much. That's why your routine must be saturated with faith. You can have a structured plan, a powerful strategy, and a strong work ethic, but if you're disconnected from the one who gave you the assignment, you're building without blueprints. Faith isn't just belief, it's trust in divine timing, divine instruction, and divine provision. And when your actions are fueled by that kind of faith, you don't just grind, you glide. You don't just push, you flow. There's a speed that comes from strategy, but there's a favor that comes from obedience. That favor opens doors you didn't knock on, connects you with people you didn't chase, and delivers outcomes you couldn't manufacture. That's what happens when faith isn't just something you talk about, it's something you walk out daily. So don't just pray for acceleration, position yourself for it. Align your habits, your schedule, your energy, and your mind with what God told you to do. Move in faith, build in faith, show up in faith, and watch what happens when heaven backs your hustle. In conclusion, success is not a moment. It's a lifestyle. It's found in the choices you make every single day and the routines you commit to and the discipline you uphold when no one is watching. Your daily routine is the blueprint that shapes your future, and what you do consistently, even in the small moments, has the power to compound into massive breakthroughs. The dream is never too far out of reach, but discipline bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. The value you create daily is the currency that will eventually lead to the wealth you seek, and your routine will always reveal what you truly prioritize. Faith without action is futile, but when you fuel your actions with unwavering faith, you unlock favor and divine acceleration. You activate the supernatural flow that takes your efforts to a place beyond your natural capabilities. Your future is not in the hands of luck, it's in the hands of your daily commitment to building, growing, serving, and believing. The key to success is simple. Build the routine, show up every day, stay disciplined, create value, and trust in the process. And when you do, success won't be something you chase, it will be something you attract. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The life you're dreaming of is waiting for you on the other side of your daily choices. Keep building, keep believing, and keep moving forward. The best is yet to come.